Hi, hello, it's Nikki and welcome to my messy bookshelves. So today I just wanted to share what I have been reading in the last few days. So it's Wednesday. I figured it was due time to share what I have been reading over the last week and a half or so. So I must apologize if you can hear my washing machine in the background because laundry's gotta get done, but it is loud. But I have been reading this week. I've been very busy with work and I haven't gotten to a whole lot of things, but I did do a decent amount of reading, I think. So the first book that I read was Spider's Web by Agatha Christie. Now this is a reread for me, but it is one of her standalones and it is not one that I have reread very often, so I couldn't quite remember the whodunit in it because it's been a really long time. But this one was about a young woman, a young wife who's married to a politician or a diplomat of some sort. And she is a lighthearted young woman and she likes to play jokes. She likes to have fun and she has some house guests staying with her. She likes imagining different situations and she gets herself into a little scrape when she plays a game of imagining and comes into, I think, the drawing room and finds the dead body of an unknown man in her drawing room. And so her husband, meanwhile, is on his way home with a very important diplomat, and she has to figure out how to hide the body before her husband gets home. So she gets her house guests to help her hide the body, and then a policeman knocks on the door. So she is trying to juggle the fact that there is a dead body in her house that she's had her friends help her to hide. Her husband is on his way home with a very important government official, and she's trying to convince the police that there is not a dead body in the house, and she must do all this and solve the crime before all of these things collide. So not my favorite one, but it is very enjoyable and a quick read. So this is very easily read in, probably a sitting or two. But yes, I recommend. The next one that I read was Fahrenheit 451. I finally read it and I finally finished it. And I think my comments, I'll have a similar comment for the next one that I read as well. But I did enjoy this very much. I am very upset that I didn't read this sooner. So we have a fireman who is starting to question his reality because in this post-apocalyptic, I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, but in this future imagined time, books are not allowed because they cause people to think and they cause people to have feelings that they probably shouldn't have according to the government. So firemen in this time are people who set books on fire to prevent these scandalous thoughts and free thinking to get out into the masses. And he starts to question his reality and why is he doing this as a profession after he meets a young girl who starts to ask him questions. And it follows his life as he is questioning his reality. And I really, really enjoyed it. I do love, post-apocalyptic, dystopian, that's the word I'm looking for, dystopian books. I really love dystopian books. But this one, I did love it, but the ending, I was so torn. I was like, did what I think happened just happen? So really enjoyed that. I was thinking about it for the rest of the night after I finished it, and yes, I highly recommend this book. The next thing that I read finally was The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, and I had talked about it in a couple other videos, but we have Dr. Montague, who is trying to investigate the paranormal activity at Hill House. He invites some guests to join him for the summer, and they are trying to sort of study the phenomena that is happening in this house. And we learn a little more about the house's history, and we start to see some strange things happening in the house, very creepy things, and you kind of start to see the characters unraveling a little bit. So this, I also thought it ended a little abruptly, and I was like, did what I think happened just happen at the end? So yes, similar to the previous book that I mentioned, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know, like, it was scary to me, but at the same time, I was like, what is it about this book that is scaring me? I think it was just so unsettling, because there was nothing terrifyingly gory or anything like that. It was just psychologically disturbing, I think. So very unsettling, and I decided when I had a day off the next day, I stayed up till like 3 a.m. reading this book. And that was probably why I was so terrified, because my house creaks. And yes, my daughter came down in the middle of the night to ask me for some water, which damn near made me jump out of my skin, pardon the French, but yes, that was terrifying. But yes, I really enjoyed it, and I was talking about it at work, like, this week, and people who hadn't read the book but had watched the Netflix series were like, oh, what did you think about this part? And I was like, that doesn't happen in the book. So I realized how much different the series is from the book. But yes, I highly recommend. I was scared. I am a weakling when it comes to horror, but it is what it is. So those are the books that I finished this week. And then I have also been digging into Les Miserables with Classics and Company. I haven't made it too far into this book because, as I said, I did have a fairly busy work week, but I am enjoying it so far. So I've really only gotten to meet a few characters, but I am enjoying it. I don't know that I will finish it when the group is scheduled to finish it, but I'm going to give it a try. But yeah, that is it for what I have been reading in the last week. If you like any of these books or you have any thoughts on these books, I would love to hear what you think. Am I a chicken for being scared of The Haunting of Hill House? Because I was scared. But yeah, thank you if you made it to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.